I'm gonna start with the questions. First question will be: was this career choice one of your initial considerations for starting pharmacy school? If it was not, why did you make the change?
So originally, I wanted to do retail pharmacy, which I did for 10 years. Enjoyed it. I enjoyed working with patients, talking to patients, and the patient encounters. Then life changed, and I needed a more stable work environment where my hours were more designed and can work with my family. So I then went to working for the VA hospital in the outpatient pharmacy, which is similar to retail, that we dispense medications like retail does. We just don't deal with insurances and we don't deal with money.
That's great. So, what advice should students and practitioners consider whenever they want to select this career?
So the biggest advice I say is when it comes to being a pharmacist in general, make sure you venture out and see what's available for you. Retail, hospital, you have insurance, you have nuclear pharmacy. So make sure that you go and see which one works best for you. If you are a great people person and you enjoy the one-on-ones with patients and looking at clinical aspects of medications, that's where outpatient pharmacy comes in at, because we do the same thing as inpatient pharmacists. We just don't see the patients on a day-to-day basis. We just deal with the regular medications, the acute medications, and we deal with their medications they take on a daily basis.
Okay. Um, what does the day to day as a clinical pharmacist at James A. Haley Barron's outpatient pharmacy looks like?
So on a day-to-day, we have about 20 pharmacists that's on duty at a minimum. We each have our specific tasks for each day. Today, I was in the vault. So I was in charge of all the controlled medications, C2 through 5, that came out of the pharmacy. We check the patient's history to make sure that they are not taking it early. We could also have access to their labs. Like we have access to the doctor's notes, so we can check and see are they getting it too soon? Why the doctor changed their dosing? So that's the beauty of being in the outpatient. We can contact the doctor and we have access to their notes. We also resolve resolutions. We dispense medications, and then we also have pharmacists that talk to patients and can counsel patients on a day-to-day basis, and that's their specific duty for that day.
That was really interesting. All right. What aspect of the job are the most appealing to you?
The biggest aspect I have is being able to contact. Oh, by the way, that was my dog. He's sitting behind me that you heard in the background. He's sleeping.
Yep.
So the aspects of the job that are most appealing is being able to reach the doctors and talk to them via Teams and being able to access the patient's notes. When I was in retail, I did not have direct access to prescribers. It was giving them a call, leaving a message with the nurse. Now I can Teams the doctor and they'll respond back on a quicker basis. Or I could put a note in the patient's file and the doctor can sign off on it and see what we are asking or requesting clarification on. So that's the beauty of I love about working at the VA.
And contrary of that, what is the least appealing of your job?
So at the VA right now, depending on what station you're assigned, you may not see patients, and that is I miss that miss that from retail life. I miss talking to patients and being able to discuss more than just medications and learning about their life. So that's the least appealing if I'm not stationed at a patient interaction spot.
Yeah, it's really good to know. Really awesome to know. All right. Is there any expectation about a career that turned out to be different than you anticipated?
When I was in retail, I did not expect it to be as busy as it was. Because in retail, you have a busy life. From the moment you step in the door to the moment you leave out, it's go, 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 go. You don't get to have that direct patient care that I used to have when I first started in 2011. It's changing a lot now. But at the outpatient pharmacy, I still don't get that interaction all the time, but it's not as strenuous on your body because you have 20 pharmacists at the minimum that's working that day.
Okay. What is the most memorable incident that you have experienced in your career?
So my most memorable was I had a patient who had Alzheimer's, and her daughter used to come pick up medication, and she used to come sometimes to pick it up. And about a month before my patient passed away, she asked her daughter specifically how I was doing by name. And at the time, she didn't remember her daughter's name, but she remember my name as a pharmacist. And I only see her once or twice a month. So it just showed me how much of an impact we as pharmacists can have on our patients. That someone who could not remember their daughter's name remembered your name. Out of all things, and just wanted to see how I was doing. So that was the most memorable.
Wow, wow, that feels really honorable to be a pharmacist.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, thank you for sharing that. How would you describe your career progression in the next 5 to 10 years?
So in the next 5 to 10 years, I plan to be a supervisor of some sort in the James A. Haley Veterans Pharmacy, whether it's outpatient or with our procurement department where we're ordering medications. So I do expect to be a supervisor within the 5 to 10 years.
That's good. We still have time, so we can go over the other two questions if you want, Liliana.
Yeah. What technical skills were required for this specific job?
So with my job, because I work at outpatient pharmacy, I did not have to complete a residency, but they did want you to have some type of experience in pharmacy. And I had managerial skills for over 9 years as a manager in retail. So that helped me out. If you're looking to work in the hospital on a floor, where we call packed pharmacist, or in a department, those positions do require you to have a PGY1 at least in order to work as a floor pharmacist in at the specific department.
Sounds good. How would you describe well, we already had asked that question. How did you come to work in your current position, and what step did you take to reach where you are today?
So the funny story is, at where I'm at now, one of my old partners who used to work at CVS with me, she had an interview for the position and listed me as a manager. Me and the current supervisor at the outpatient pharmacy, we were talking because I was her reference. And with us talking, I thought that the VA was a really good job to work for. It seemed like something that I would want to do. And she said, "Send me your resume." So I sent her my resume, and it's been 10 years since I've been working at CVS, and had done an interview since then. So it was a new beginning, something different. Right. And it was just really who you knew at the time. But just making sure that I stayed up on my CEs, update on clinical information, what's your limit, the limits and regulations for prescribing certain drugs, and making sure I understood, what your blood pressure should be, what's pre-hypertension, pre-diabetes, that stuff like that. It helps. So when you get on the job and you're looking at patients' labs, you can easily look and understand what each lab means, and what drug interactions are really important to know. You don't have to know all of them because we do have computer system micromedics that's there for you, but being able to look at a prescription and be able to contact the doctor immediately if you have a patient waiting, that's something that's really helpful to know.
Okay. What would you advise the student to take the PGY 1 year or not?
Well, I would advise students, and when you're looking at a career, go try to do places that you've never worked at before. When you're choosing a site to go visit or do your rotations at, don't always choose, if you did retail for forever, try something different to see if you're going to like it. Don't just stick with what you know. This is your opportunity to spread your wings and see what's available out there. So do your best to pick a field that you thought you would not want to do, just to make sure that's not that's what you're not liking, because you may surprise yourself, and that may be something that you're like, oh, I actually like this now that I understand what it really is, and I'm there. But always be true to yourself, be able to talk to patients, have empathy, and just love what you do. You're going to be doing this for the rest of your life. So if you could go into your job and you could put a smile on your face when you get in there and you leave and you feel like you did something positive and you helped at least one person out, that right there is the biggest thing that I say you look for. You should always be happy where you're working at.
All right. Well, that was awesome advice. Thank you so much. So
You're
right now
welcome.
we are still P1, but this is so good, such a good opportunity to talk to somebody, graduate from the same school, have all the
Yes.
experience, and this is so awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome, and thank you both for being patient with me. Tampa has been through a lot, and I apologize for taking so long to get back with you, but I'm glad you gave me this opportunity to talk with you both.
No, it's our honor to talk to you today as well. Liana, do you want to say anything else?
No, thank you very much for doing this interview with us. Honestly, I've been really interested in working on the veterans part of it. So this was for me a huge relief to get to talk to somebody about that, because
Good.
I'm from Puerto Rico, and back there I tried to talk to one of the pharmacists there to see how it was, and it was really difficult. So to get this opportunity, it was really, really great. So thank you very much.
No problem, and I appreciate it. And the wonderful thing about working at the VA is it's a federal job. You get licensed in one state, and you could go work anywhere. And they do have work from home as well if you get the opportunity to work from home with the VA. So it's mountains of opportunities. And there is, like you said, there's a VA in Puerto Rico, so it's always you can go back home or you can stay here. I have a partner right now, one of the pharmacists, he's from Puerto Rico. So it's always great to see people. And if you have any questions, ladies, feel free to email me or text me or anything you need to do. I'll try to get back with you and answer any questions you have. But the VA is a great opportunity, wonderful opportunity. I'm grateful for the job I have. And I look forward to growing with the VA.
Yeah, absolutely.